Hi all, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Rebecca. If you're watching for the first time, and for my returning subscribers, you are amazing. Thank you so much for all the support. Today, in the video today, we're going to be looking at the UAE Labor Law, what we should expect as employers and employees. So on the same note, I brought up someone who has 25 years of HR experience. We passed through my subscribers and many of you were asking some questions, which I noted down, and I'm going to be asking those questions one by one to make sure we get this information from the right person. So please stay tuned with me and let's dive in.
Hi, my name is Aisha Sheikh Ahmed, and I've been in HR for the past 25 years, both here in the UAE and back in the UK as well. I'm currently the founder of AiHR, and we look at the employee life cycle for organizations, as well as support them with startups and business transformation.
Yes, that's quite a good thing. So in HR, you've been there for 25 years. That's a big one. And so, like I've told everybody, you're just the right person to answer these questions, because when it comes to employment, it's where it's our source of income. So it is one of the the key factors in everybody's life. In that course, you need to keep safe and you're doing the right thing. So I'll go deep into the question, like right into the questions now. And the first one came from someone. It is saying, can employers still terminate without notice during probation?
Yes, currently you can do that. However, from February 2023, the employer will have to give 14 days notice to the employee. And if the employee is leaving or resigning from the job, then they will have to give a 30-day notice period to the employer.
To the employer. Okay. So, and the second question is, how do employers calculate holiday pay on termination? And maybe as second one on the same subject is, should we calculate end of service gratuity using working days or calendar days?
Okay, so I'll answer your second question first.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so the end of service, working days or calendar days, it's not relevant. It's basically as per the labor law and should be calculated on the basic salary of the employee.
And what about if the employer calculates, how do employers calculate holiday pay on termination?
Okay, so the holiday leave pay, it's basically, it depends on what the leave entitlement was, and it depends on the HR policy of the organization, whether it's going to be on calendar days or working days. So that's a call for organizations, but the leave should be calculated till the last working day within the organization.
Okay, so if maybe to clarify for someone who doesn't know the leave days, do we have like every month has an allocation of the leave days within, or it has to be like taken at once in 1 month, or otherwise?
Leave is accrued for the duration of your service with the organization.
Okay. Another question came in is, should we make all of our non-competes 2 years long? Maybe we should just start by explaining this non-compete clause, and then what duration do you think it should be?
So the non-compete clause, it's each organization customize it according to their organization, according to their industry, and according to the type of job the employee is carrying out. And it's a very sensitive subject. To each organization, but some organizations it's really sensitive because employees are subject to your data, they're subject to your customers, your future pipeline projects. So each organization takes a different approach. So whether to say it's like 2 years or 1 year, there's a number of dynamics that you need to consider when having such a clause in place.
Okay, so at least you can just go back to your clause, to what you signed for, and then you can know what to do. Because I mean, we were talking earlier that some industries are really wide. Like they're wide. You can't say that if I stop being a lawyer at your firm, I cannot be a lawyer at another firm. I mean, it doesn't
exactly
sound ideal.
And it's also very important to have these kind of expectations up front from the recruitment stage with your employees as well.
Yeah, it's much better then. Okay, another question is, do we reclaim recruitment costs if an employee resigns during probation?
No.
Directly, no. Now I can imagine that if an employer leaves before 6 months are finished, maybe the probation period, whichever it is, it's finished, they don't have to pay anything. Don't you think it would make the employers quit more than it is, or
it's
because maybe being afraid of paying anything would keep them behind? Like, what do you think as an HR professional?
Okay, so there's two sides to this. One side is that whenever you recruit somebody, there's always a risk associated, that, a flight risk, as we call it. So whether that person takes off within the 6 months or whether it's on the 7th month, because there could be a chance of them leaving after 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. Where do you draw the line on that? Yes. So that's a risk that businesses have to take and pay that recruitment cost. And now the other side of the question is like, would you want them to stay? Now, the thing is, would you, if as an employee, if I'm employing somebody and that person is not happy, it would not be fair for me to keep them on board, because they're going to be counterproductive.
They won't deliver,
and they won't deliver, and you weren't able to motivate them no matter how much you try.
That's true.
So why would you want to hold somebody back?
No, I wouldn't. Well, okay, so for the employers, at least you have a word of comfort. I mean, to just have a risk calculated for, like, planned for even prior to time. Okay, and another question is redundancy an arbitrary dismissal? Redundancy.
With redundancies, this is it's a sensitive subject.
It is,
as you know, and it needs to be handled very tactfully, very carefully, and with empathy as well. Yes, there is always business requirements, and there's a lot of internal factors, there's a lot of external factors. We had COVID, but to handle it in a tactful way, aligned to the labour law, to ensure that you have everything in place correctly, and you've given people enough time, as a manager, as an organisation, go through the issues, and just to ensure that you've carried out the correct procedures.
You've tried all that you can. Also putting in consideration the employee. Okay.
Exactly. Wow, and as you know, with the employees, we do need to consider the fact that they've uplifted from their countries. They've come here, they're working here, they've made sacrifices on their behalf, on their behalf as well. So, work with the issue, see what the issue is, sit down with them, try to understand. We have people from lots of different nationalities. Get some, if you need a fresh pair of eyes or some intervention, reach out for that intervention. Nothing is not unsolvable. Is that correct?
That's correct. Everything is solvable.
Everything is solvable. There's a solution to every problem. And whether that is maybe a personal problem or whether it's a professional issue, whether it's a performance issue. Definitely if it's a performance issue, you've recruited these people, so as a line manager, as a HR, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses.
True.
And good managers will always know how to bring out the best in people.
And taking us back to the empathy which you talked about.
Of course, absolutely.
Wow. And the second last question is, do we have to follow a pre-dismissal process for all employees? That's what you've answered now. That a pre-dismissal is where you try the trainings, you try everything you can to make sure you can assist this employee until all fails, and then you can think of going to the next stage.
And that's where a lot of managers do need to set time to sit down with your employees, sit down with your teams, and and see how you can bring out the best in people.
Yeah. The last question for now is, do we still have to pay early termination compensation when ending limited term contracts?
You do need to follow what is in the labour law, and also what you can do, what organisations do is if they feel comfortable to set forth expectations earlier on in the employee contract as well. So then the expectations are clear for both sides. For both sides are good. And especially when it comes to unlimited contracts.
Very sensitive.
Yes, it's very sensitive. But from as of next year, we'll only have limited contracts.
Okay, Miss Aisha, thank you so much for answering those questions. I mean, they are the questions which rose from the people who, when they saw this the new labor law, because it doesn't affect only the employer but also the employee.
Absolutely.
So, and also when we come to SMEs, by the way, and then the bigger organizations, semi-government organizations, government. So, and all that. So people were having some questions. I know we will have the privilege of having you back at my channel as time goes on, inshallah, so we can have a bit more light on these things as they come up. Yeah, but before we go, you are an HR, I won't let you go before I can ask you one question. It is from the previous show that I had, and it's regarding the preparation when someone's going for an interview. Like, what will make someone stand out of, because really it's a key.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
to make you stand out, to make you win that thing, that job that everybody might be seeking. So please, before I let you go.
Yes, sure, because we also do professional brandings, and we do support people with CVs and interview preparations from both sides as well.
Yes.
But I think the most important thing is sit down with yourself, understand how you can add value to this job.
Okay.
And note it down, write it down, because it's not just, okay, I think I'm suitable for this job and I'm applying for this job.
Yes.
But it's like, what do you actually bring to the table? And note it down, your unique selling point, because your unique selling point is unique to you, and that's what's going to make you stand out in that interview.
Yes.
And every single candidate, that when we're in an interview panel, we see like, okay, has this person taken the time out to understand the job, and have they taken the time to understand themselves and what they can bring to the table, what makes them unique? Because that's what the interview is all about at the end of the day. Because you're selling yourself, you're putting yourself, and we've all been there. Like, okay, what's going to make me different from the next candidate? And we really need to do some soul searching,
self-evaluation.
Exactly, self-evaluation. And understand, like, okay, do you know what? I'm going to be really good at this job because this is what I can bring to the table. And then articulate that at the interview, because you're always going to get asked that question. And so you do want to ask anything.
Doesn't know, but you know, so you let the interviewer know. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, you're always going to get that opportunity to, the interview goes, well, do you want to ask any questions, or, what do you want to say? Anything from your side? Or,
yes.
And that's your selling point. That's your chance to close that deal.
Oh, yes. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. What I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to leave Miss Aisha's contact details for her company in the description section. Contact her on the details I've given and get to know what she can be able to offer them. Maybe I can give you that small moment, just to tell them what your company does before you can see them off.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So like I said, AiHR, we offer services to startup organizations and business transformations, where we help them with the change management process. We look at all different services within the employee life cycle, like whether if it's recruitment, performance management, learning and development frameworks, employee relations. We offer clinics to organizations where they want a fresh pair of eyes, a third person, a professional to come in and help them with their people issues.
Yes.
We look at HR policies and procedures as well.
Yeah.
And then also for the individuals, we do offer professional brandings, looking at CVs, looking at their social media, and interview preparations, and
Thank you so much for keeping up with me. It's been such a lovely video. I loved it myself. So I hope each and every one of you had something to learn from the video. Those of you who are seeking jobs and are going for interviews, I hope by now you have more confidence and you have a bit more tactics of what to use to stand out of many.